Wait, who's them? Who's the people?
White man.
Yeah, you can say it. Like, it's okay.
The Caucasian.
The white man is always right.
Yes, not as far as like race, because I don't consider like it to be possible to experience a microaggression with like a privileged identity, and since I'm white, I'm just like, that's not the thing for that identity.
Yes, because I am a young black female, I tend to get more criticisms from older Caucasian females. I can tell you of a specific event. I came to work with a very flowy shirt on, and I purposely put a camisole underneath this shirt so it would not be see-through or I would not show any sort of cleavage. I received compliments throughout the day. It was a peach color shirt, by the way, so it kind of matches my skin tone. I received compliments throughout the day, but the two older women in a different department were, looking at me kind of funny. And I asked them, what was up, what was wrong, or whatnot, and they told me that, oh, if you wore that shirt over here, you wouldn't be employed, and that shirt isn't my cup of tea. But mind you, both of these women dress as if they're trying to attend a funeral.
I've gotten dirty looks from Caucasian people. They don't want to touch my hand if they need to give me money. I've been called a nigger before. Ooh. Yeah, I've been called quite a few things. Stereotype is when you look at someone and you just assume that they ghetto or ignorant.
Oh, they're going to behave this way. Or even language, like, oh, you can't speak properly. Or if you speak properly, then...
Like, just because you speak proper and you're well educated, people might think that you're trying to be
something else. You're trying to be
Some
better.
I have experienced some racism. In the country, they pick up everybody. They go back on dirt roads. You got to get up at 5 in the morning to be on that bus. So it's this little white boy. He was in my class. I think his name was Jeffrey. He was a little slow, but he knew what he was doing. He wasn't that slow, but he had some slowness in him. I don't know if it was incest, because that's a little piece of stereotype, but he deserved this. So we was on the bus one day on our way home. I don't know if my man was having a moment, but he just blurted out, "You niggers." I know y'all just heard that. He said it. He hopped off the bus so quick. He was like, "I'm going to get my dad, and we're going to get our shotgun. We're going to kill you niggers."
I want to say stereotypes is like, it's kind of more of a caricature, such as black people love watermelon. Prejudice is more so having a bias against someone because of their race.
Well, I guess prejudice is like the act of like seeing someone and immediately having like a thought about them, and I guess stereotypes are just like a trait that has been given to a race or to one group from society.
Black people, we love, watermelon and chicken.
Stereotype is more like, all black people like fried chicken, all black people like watermelon, Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be good or bad, but just because it represents the some doesn't mean it represents the all.
For being non-binary, for sure, constantly people assume my pronouns, which is like, right, I understand. But even just after correcting them and then hearing whatever they have to say about that. Stereotypes to me can be like positive or negative, but it's either way, it's like generalizing about a whole community. If it's another white person, I get mad. And then I tell them they're not supposed to do that. Like, that's not your words to use. The only way that people should be using that is to reclaim it. And you can't do that. You can only perpetuate oppression by using that word. I tend to be a buzzkill at parties when people are like singing along to songs, and if they're white and they use that word and they're like, "Oh, but it's in the song," I'm like, "It's still not okay." But when people of color use it with each other in like a reclamation kind of way, I'm like, that's cool. Please use words that have been used against you before, and still are.
My first experience would have to have been, there was a truck, a lifted truck, mind you, with a Confederate flag flying on the back, which is common in that area, and they screamed out of their window, "Nigger bitch." and that hurt my feelings because I was 12. I naturally tried to avoid white males because white males are the individuals who verbally assaulted me.
Like when I was younger, like I would get stopped more at like TSA because I used to have long hair, and like I went on a school trip to Costa Rica, and there were like these like Caucasian girls who I was with in the class, and they had like hair longer than mine, and they went through, and then when I went through, they like checked through my hair to like see if I had anything. But it was weird. Like it was weird at first. I didn't realize what like until I told my mom about it, and she was like, yeah, that was like straight up racism.
I'm gonna take it back to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was in an all-white school. The Caucasian kids were belittled. They used to call us niggas. They used to spit on us. We went through a lot. And as I got older, I took that and learned to treat people with love and kindness, no matter the mentality that they have.
Yes, I have. So most white people would say something like that to you. Nigga, stay out of the store, you know. So it's like, I grew up in the country. What else can you do? You know, so most places you went, white people acting like, why are you in here? Or what are you doing here? You don't belong in here. So went North Dakota. People will blatantly come and tell you, you're the first black person I've ever met, you know. So they just, you know, then some white people didn't even want to talk to you. So, you know, you're talking about this is in 2015, 2014. You would say hi or excuse me, they wouldn't even say nothing to you. So, I actually worked for a white family that was really nice and treated me, you know, like I was their equal. And then, you know, made me start, wow. You know, she was actually asking me what I wanted on a sandwich, you know, what I wanted to eat. You know, like I've never dealt with that with him, like with a white person before. You know, the moment is like, nah, I got you a tomato sandwich. I fixed your tomato sandwich. It was just they gave you whatever they want, and that was the first time. You know, this white family actually like, well, what do you want to eat? You know, what do you like on your sandwich? And you know, and asked me, I was like, so it made you rethink how you thought about white people. You know. Like, wow, I can't say all white people are bad. I can't put every white person on a person of different race in the same category. So it made me stop because, you know, I didn't shoot, you know, a white person. As I got older, I was like a teenager, you know, I was like, shoot, some white person started saying something to me out of the way and now I'd bust them in the head or something. Then I was like, okay, I can't think of all white people being, you know, bad or racist.
I don't think that I could, like, classify anything, I guess, against me as racism because I am white.
I feel bad for being a white person or something. And, you know, like that whole, like, defensive stance of, like, why is this such an issue? But, you know, as you, like, grow as a person and you start to learn, like, I don't know, cultural humility and learning about marginalized identities, especially as they relate to, like, my privileged identity. Like the Baltimore uprising, when that happened, I was still an undergrad, so I was like talking and doing some like activism with people and just like realizing how little I knew. I wasn't at that point under the impression that I was experiencing racism ever. I feel like that was like the point undergrad where I realized like, yeah, that's like literally definitely not possible at all. When they're white and just in their feelings, it's misplaced to me.
When I hear like white people saying the N-word, I feel like very uncomfortable about it. And like, I feel like none of my like close friends, I guess, use that word, but I feel like sometimes when I'm like at concerts or when I'm like at a bar, like I'll like hear like sometimes like white people like saying it in passing or like, yeah, or like if the N-word is like in a song and like white people sing along to it, and I'm like, you like could just not say that word. People of African ancestry, I'm kind of like, it is your prerogative to like use that word or to not use it.
I feel really bad about it because I come from PG County, which is very like African American. Like it's very like there's a lot of black people around that area, right? And like I understand like it comes from a very bad place, like times of like slavery and stuff, and I know a lot of people like feel bad about it, so like I try to stay away from it, tell people like not to do that, because I know a lot of like Asian people, they still say it, and like I don't really fuck with that.
I feel like the word has lost some kind of power in a way. Personally, like to my race, I think I find it hard to get offended by someone using that word towards me, just because I'm a lot of different races. I am black, but I'm also like Caucasian, and I'm also Hispanic.
But that right there, child, I have experienced some racism. But that right there, child, I have experienced some racism.